Today I'm going to show you how to get road surface conditions and the road surface forecast into Home Assistant so that you can get local information regarding road surface conditions and put that into an automation that tells you when you need to salt the driveway, basically. So I'll show you the result of it because that's the page I'm on. So I have this little sensor here and that's conditional, so basically if the driveway will need salting, it will say salt the driveway. Here it only shows if it's needed, and it looks at tomorrow's forecast. And then here I've created a pop-up for essentially 7 days. So the first thing I'll show you is I get the information from here. This is it's weatheronline.co.uk, and basically what you do is you put your city in here. For me it's Durham, and then you on day 1 to 4 and day 5 to 8 it has a tab called road, and then I use screen scraping to scrape these values here, and then the image that's shown, and then from the name of that image I then query this, use this key to determine what the actual forecast is. So the way that this is done primarily is through scrape sensors, and I'll just quickly show you one of them. So we have the URL here. The only 2 bits of the URL that we're interested in is WMO, which is essentially your locality, and the level. So 190 is the first 4 days forecast, 191 is the next 5 to 8 days. The rest of this doesn't really matter. I think get will matter, but none of this probably matters. And basically from these we create a few sensors. So for each day on the table we create a road surface temperature forecast and a road surface condition. And essentially the way this works is it uses screen scraping, and I forget what the technology is called. It's sort of largely irrelevant, but it will look in the code in the page to get that specific table, the specific value at that part of the table, and then it will strip out the degrees Celsius and swap it for nothing, so that then we can then display it back into Home Assistant in the correct format, which is again degrees Celsius. So we do that for the first few days forecast, the next few days forecast, and then we create a sensor for each day. So from that I create a sensor, a template sensor, which the value is the current forecast, today's forecast, and then I have an attribute for essentially each day. So it just creates one sensor to contain all that information that was in several sensors, basically. And then I set the icon depending on the current forecast. So then with that, I can create Boolean sensor. So that takes tomorrow's temperature, tomorrow's condition from the forecast, and essentially if the forecast is less than 0, or it says hard-packed snow, freezing rain and moisture, hoarfrost, or black ice, then this report says essentially yeah. So then using that we can create, so from that we can create an automation. I've got it set to trigger at 4 PM every day, and using the next day's forecast, if we should salt the drive, it will check an input boolean which I've created to see if I have already salted the drive. If I haven't, it will get the forecast information, then it will send a notification to my phone, and that notification includes an action button, so that when I've salted the drive I can tap driveway salted on my notification, which you might have seen in another video that I did before this. And then once the driveway is marked as salted, it will remove that notification. And then so the next day it will run through the same thing again. So because we tend not to need to salt the driveway every day, so if it's already been salted it won't send me another notification the next day, for instance. But what it will do is that the next time that the tomorrow's forecast is okay, a bit warmer, it will reset that value for me so that the following time that it is cold, it will send me a notification. So it's sort of every other time, which works out quite well for my needs, basically. And then the other thing that I did, so as you can see here, I've got this entity here, which is the tomorrow's forecast, and then here I have a list of entities, one for each day of the forecast, basically. And I did that here. I just created a little template sensor for each one, and it's pretty straightforward. It just queries that overall sensor that I created and picks out that specific attribute, and then I create an icon for each one. So and that's basically it. It's really useful. Everything I've put together in this video is available in a gist that I'll link in the video below. Thank you for watching. If you've gotten this far, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on basically every platform that you can think of. Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.